and welcome to my channel. This is my first video that I'm ever recording. I thought that we could do a little let's build a starter build. I'm doing a save file and I figured that it would be good to have, I've been working on it for a long time and I want to have a starter, at least one starter home in every world. So we're going to keep a very close eye on the price for this house because it gets very out of control very easily for me. I think I'm going to do like some of this. I don't really know. It's all subject to change. That's the thing. You can change it as many times as you'd like as you go along and you discover that you don't like what you did at the start. Basically, I'm just building a fancy little box and I'm going to do this this way, and I just want it to be like a cutesy little house that anybody could start off in and kind of make their way and just start off their Sims lives in like a tiny little house and eventually move, or they could extend it. I don't know how you would really extend this, but it could be fun to extend this house. I don't know what kind of game you like to play, how you like to play your game. I'm going to shift and go like that to have it be a little bit less obnoxious, kind of, and then shift and put that in so that it looks more seamless when it's going across. And I think I want there to be no covering on the back patio. I also don't think there's going to be much in terms of decor in the backyard. So this is $4 and these are also $4, but I think the yellow might be too much because I don't know who's going to live here, because I'm obviously not making a sim to live here, because I want it to be like where you could start if you wanted to live in Newcrest. I'm going to change the lighting to be a little bit different, and for the roofing I want there to be maybe this one is kind of cutesy, I think. And then I'll do a little roof trim on here just to give it a little bit more texture and dimension. I don't know. I do know, but I don't know. We'll try it. We'll try this. We'll have just the one little column supporting the roof. And then this is my main pro tip for somebody who is starting out building, is to do put this on across the whole roof of your build. It is a life changer for me. I just do it on pretty much every build, because then you can do, when you put the walls back up, you can put this here. I think it just looks nicer. Like, it just looks more clean and finished. So next I'm going to put these little, I think I just want one step. You don't really need a lot of steps on a house this teeny. And I used to really dislike these little fences, but I'm actually growing to really like them as of lately. I've just been enjoying the simpler things in life. I've been building a couple more starter homes for this save file lately, so I always need more of this cheap fence, and it's actually a pretty cute fence for being as cheap as it is, at least in my opinion. So for the door, The door is pretty important, I would say, so we want kind of a pretty nice one, but it has to fit the spacing. Maybe we will make this too wide, just so I can have a too wide door and not have it look really off and strange. So I'm thinking that as far as the bedroom goes, it will be like this, and we'll have the bathroom be here, and we'll do like cut one little wall out. So this is a little bit strange of a shape for the bedroom. Okay, we'll do that, and then I'll have like a little kitchen here, and then I think I need to extend it a little bit because this is, I think, too small for what I'm trying to do. And that does cut into our patio space, but that's okay because it's better to have a lot more, I think it's better to have a lot more enough indoor space and have enough space for yourself than to have your outdoor space, because you can always extend your outdoor space when you have more money, because this is not your forever home necessarily, unless you want it to be. I don't know who you are. So I just want some like standard, really normal windows. I think a lot of people put too many windows on their houses. I'm just gonna have the one there. I'm always kind of conscious of that, and it can make it really hard to build when you have too many windows, just because, I mean, they do bring in a lot more light, and that's really nice and convenient to have like a lot of light, but it makes it really hard to furnish and to make up a floor plan because you have so few windows, you have so many windows that you can't make a floor plan around them. So it's really important to just have the right amount. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting these saucer lights in because they're really good lighting, as you can see. But when I finish the build, I will remove these lights and put in some cheaper ones. It's just so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Do I want to go for a white wood or a dark wood? That is the question. It kind of changes the whole feel of the house depending on which one you decide to do. But these are all $4 all the way up to here, so I could even get these like super duper nice flooring if I wanted to. It's such a hard decision because it's going to change everything. I think I'm gonna go for a dark wood in this one because my other starter home had dark wood. Maybe I'll go for a light floor. So maybe it's like, I think the whole theme of this house is going to be light and bright. Change that window to be a little bit lower, just because it makes more sense with how we're doing things. We'll put wood on the back patio and the front porch as well. I think that here on the front porch, I'm going to put just a little, I'm going to put a cheaper bin, maybe this one, out on the front porch. Or maybe I should put it on the back area. So I'm going to put it out here in the back. I can get it to go where I want it to. And then for landscaping, we need to pick a little foundation. I'm going to go for this lattice kind of one because I think it fits this kind of style of house. And then for a really cheap landscaping, I'm going to first look at what is in the surroundings. So we have these big oak trees and we have these little ones. So I'm going to try to use stuff that looks, or try to use trees that look similar to that tree, or that give kind of the same like look and feel here. So we'll do one right there, and then I'm going to put maybe a slightly smaller one in the back. Like right here, I think is a good spot for a little tree. And then it's this tree that is kind of like that one. So we'll do it like right here, I think. That looks good. I might even size it down a little bit just to make it look a little, like just kind of fit the size of the house. So then I'm gonna put the second one in here. And as for money, we have 7,000, we're up to 7,000 right now, which is pretty good because we're going for 20,000. So I could either do these crown molding looking like ones that I always use, but I kind of would like to try. The wallpaper is going to be more expensive, which I don't appreciate too greatly. I think I might just go for, sorry, that's my dog. He's barking away. Champ, please don't do that. I think I might go for this neutral kind of blue color, and then go for a slightly lighter one in like a green color in the bedroom. And I'm going to go for the same blue in this little hall that I've created. I'm thinking I want to put like a little coat rack here and maybe like a mirror on this wall. And I'm going to go ahead and just get the bathroom out of the way right away, just because it's actually quite boring to do a bathroom, especially with a starter bathroom that you can't even really do anything interesting with because you're trying to conserve your money and just use the cheapest items you can get a hold of, because obviously you don't want to spend like all of your money on the bathroom is actually really especially good to start with. Bathroom is especially good to start with because it sucks up a lot of your funds. A lot of your money goes into the bathroom. So you definitely want to start off there. Also the kitchen. Not only does the kitchen kind of give you a feel for how the rest of the house is going to feel, it gives you it takes a lot of your money away. So I'm going to go for this fridge in the white. And I think it's better that I did go for these lighter colors because this is a small room. I can't afford that right now. Let's get that out of the wall. Champ, can you please stop doing that? And then over here I'm going to do 2 counters on this wall. I think the lighter color scheme is better just because I think I am going to move these windows all up just to help a little bit with the counters fitting correctly into the walls. I'm going to scoot these all to fit the space better, but I think the lighter colors are better because this is a small space. And you definitely don't want everything to be too dark because that can look really closed off and make the space feel even smaller than it is, which isn't really a good use of the space. I think I would like to have 4 chairs, but I don't know how functional that will be. We'll go like that. And then we'll get just like a really cheap sink for here. And my standard decoration that I use in my kitchens is always a fruit bowl. The cheapest fruit bowl in the game is the Parenthood one, which I think is strange because this is a beautiful fruit bowl and I don't know why it's so cheap. But it is, and I'm not going to complain about it. And then I also might put a little spoon. Oops. We're gonna do that. A little spoon thing to make it more realistic. And we'll put a little trash can. This doesn't come in any. That's my other dog. And then I think I might only go for 2 chairs just because it's going to make it the space a lot more functional to just have the 2 chairs. And I think it'll be an easier squeeze for yourselves to move around with only the two, what's the word? With only the 2 chairs. And I'm going to go for a cheap rug underneath. I'm thinking something maybe like this one. And no, I am going to use this in the entryway, at least for now. I might remove it later if I decide it's costing us too much money or it's just not worth it. We don't really have a rug that fits that space very well. So then I'm going to put this is probably the best like basic couch to use in a space like this. And I'm going to put just a cheap little table, just kind of centered. I might see if I like this better. I might not. To put maybe I could. I know I'm gonna give them a cheap TV anyway, so I might just give them like a 1-tile table and then put the TV on it. I think this is a good one to use for what I'm using it for. We could even bring it like out a little bit from the wall and place just a little. I don't think they'd have like a box TV like I used to have when I was a kid, but we'll have like a cheap one and then just like this little cheap little plant. I love plants. I love having them all over my builds, and I think they're a really good thing to have. And then I want a painting that's fairly cheap for on the walls. Let's see, we could do 3 of these just across here to give it a little bit more like emphasis on. I'm gonna do this so that they're kind of at a better height. And I might put a computer here depending on how much I spend in the bedroom. So let's do the bedroom next. And I think I'm gonna go for this bed, and this is gonna have to be for, well, we could do this. Yeah, but I'm not going to use that bed. I think I'm gonna go for this one just because it's a little bit more. I think that color scheme is kind of nice. And so if you want some really cheap, or they're not very cheap, but they are really like, functional for a lot of different spaces, is these little rolly end tables. They're super duper cute. They don't take up a lot of space, and they really. Oh no, my little plant. Okay. And then on the other end table, I'm gonna put a little tissue box. You never know when you're gonna need a tissue box. And then maybe on these little end thingies. It doesn't work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use this OMSP shelf so that you can fit it to the exact height of whatever object you're using, and it spots perfectly, and you can raise it to the exact height that you need it to be at And then your build doesn't register as having custom content. There's no custom content in the build. It just like adds the ability to put it at exactly the height that you want it to be at, instead of having to deal with like all of the little like finicky things about the way things slot and all of that. And then I really like this Get Famous dresser. We're up to 14,000 right now. I still have to do like some little plants, some little flowers and stuff outside. But I want to put like a little like stack of shirts. Where is that object? Right here. Maybe in some little blues. I think that's still like gender neutral. It doesn't specify like who's living here. Anybody can have like a stack of shirts piled up on their dresser. And then in the corner, I'm going to put a little, not so little, but a mirror so that they can work on their charisma skill. I don't know what career they're in, but charisma is always a good skill to have. And I do think I possibly have enough to afford a cheap computer. I just want to see if I can fill up some of this blank space on the walls with something relatively inexpensive. So maybe like put this little painting up and we'll do a white frame. I think that works. I think that's fairly cute. And then for the desk, we will do this little kind of compact, it's a pretty compact little desk with some books in it. And we'll go for this chair in the white and just a cheap computer in there. I think that's really quite functional for your builds, for your Sims who are maybe a writer or something. And we'll do a little chair right here to just kind of add like a place to like for all your friends to come sit when you make friends or have the welcome wagon or whatever. And then on this little table, I'm going to put a little plant. We'll go this way. Just kind of add some greenery to the place. And in here, I want to add that little coat rack I was talking about. I know it's like somewhere over on this side, maybe? Nope, it's over on the other side. And I'll do it just right in there. So it's kind of like you hang your coat up as you walk in the door. And I'm going to put another mirror in this house. Just as like a check yourself as you're walking out the door kind of mirror. But that mirror is kind of expensive, so we'll go for this cheaper one. In maybe I don't know, just a little white color. Maybe we'll have a calendar. I always say little, even though it's not something little. A bad habit of mine. So we are up to 16K for this house. And we're going to do the little pathway. I think, how much is this? Ooh, that's expensive. Maybe not that one. So, what's a good... I want one that has lines in it so that it makes more sense. And I'll pay a little bit more to have lines in it. Maybe this one from City Living. How much do we cost ourselves? I don't really think it fits the style of the house, or I would use it. I like this one. I think that's cute. It fits the house quite well. And we'll do just like a tiny little square of patio area. Do this. because it looks a little bit weird when it's just a straight line, but it also looks a little bit strange when it's like even. I don't know. And then now for the landscaping, and once I do landscaping, I'll see if I want to put anything on this back porch. But these are some of my favorite flowers to use are these ones. I also use these a lot and these. I'm not going to use all of them because it's kind of a lot, but I think that with this beige color on the house, I think that the best ones to use are these little orange ones. And I'm going to size them up to kind of give them more, like, get more use out of just the one of them, and then fill in the gaps with these little daisies, just to give it kind of a little bit more, spruce it up a little bit. And I should probably actually do the front of the build first instead of the back, because doing the back of the build is kind of not as, it's important, but not as important as the front of the build is, because, I mean, the front of the build is what you're going to see all the time. At least with my Sims are very antisocial. They don't go outside, just like me. Only leave the house to go to, like, class and stuff. So, when my Sims stay at home all the time and just work on their skills, and the only time they leave the house is to go to work. And a lot of them actually work from home, so that's not even totally true. So we still have a couple $1,000 left. I definitely don't want to go like up to exactly 20,000, just because you definitely want some money left over when you start your game up. Ooh, why did that move to the household inventory? That's so weird. There's no household inventory here. Okay, so how much does this rack me up as far as money goes? It's kind of expensive. I don't know if it's worth it. I am going to put a little bench out here maybe. Maybe just a little bench, and then I think that's going to be all, just because I don't want to overdo it and have like too much going on and then you can't afford it, or it's too expensive and you want to have some money left over. But I will go ahead and do the terrain paint for this place. I always go for like the darkest one, just kind of go around wherever there are plants, just a little bit of dirt. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move the tree into the landscaping here, and I'll just go around that up my brush size. Do that, and then back here by the bin, maybe we'll put a little bit of dirt around the bin. I don't know. Maybe I could put some curtains in. I never do that. I never put curtains in my builds, and I think that would be a better, at least in the bathroom, because the bathroom has a lot of windows, and like, you don't want people peeping in on you in the bathroom. So you have to imagine they would like pull these blinds down a little bit and not leave them like where you can still see perfectly in. Like if you look, you can see directly outside from there. And then maybe above here, one thing that I love to do is take this little parenthood curtain and place it like this, so it's kind of like still letting some light in, but it's kind of cutesy and like nice. I know that in my kitchen in my house, I have little curtains pretty much just like this. These little, like, I don't even know what to call them. And then we're up to 18,000, and I just remembered we need a little rug in here to kind of fill out the space. So maybe this one kind of fills the space well. I don't think I'm going to go for that color because it's just not taking up enough of like the room or like filling out the room. Maybe I'll go, it's a little too matchy-matchy. I like this. I like this color combination. Maybe just another little, how we doing for money? How much is this plant? This plant's only 50 bucks. It doesn't fit, fit here. I don't know if it's gonna be functional. But, we could do this little terracotta plant. I just love plants far too much, and this is like deprived of plants in this house. But I'm really liking this, so I'm going to end the video right here. I hope that you enjoyed. If you want to leave any comments and like requests or whatever, like I don't know. But thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!